Shadows at Rattlesnake Ridge. The sun hung low over Silver Gulch, painting the sky in hues of amber and crimson. Sheriff Jed Quickdraw of McCoy stood on the weathered porch of the jailhouse, his eyes scanning the dusty main street. The town was quieter than a church mouse, but Jed knew better than to trust the calm. In Silver Gulch, trouble had a way of brewing faster than a pot of coffee on a hot stove. As if summoned by his thoughts, young Deputy Tom came tearing down the street, kicking up a cloud of dust. "Sheriff! Sheriff McCoy," he hollered, his voice cracking. "It's Miss Abigail. She's gone missing." Jed's hand instinctively brushed his holster. "Slow down, boy. What incarnation are you on about?" Tom skidded to a stop, panting. "Mayor Thornton's daughter, sir. She never showed up for supper. They found her horse wandering near Rattlesnake Ridge, saddle empty as a drunk's wallet on payday." A cold feeling settled in Jed's gut, heavy as a lead bullet. Abigail Thornton wasn't just any girl, she was the darling of Silver Gulch, known for her kind heart and quick wit. If something had happened to her, this town would explode like a powder keg. "All right, saddle up," Jed ordered, his voice gruff. "We're riding out to Rattlesnake Ridge." As they rode, Jed's mind wandered to darker times. His past clung to him like a second shadow, always nipping at his heels. He'd hung up his guns years ago, trading the life of a notorious gunslinger for a sheriff's badge. But now, with Abigail's life on the line, he feared he might have to become the man he once was. The ridge loomed before them, jagged teeth against the darkening sky. As they dismounted, a voice smooth as whiskey and twice as dangerous cut through the air. "Well, if it ain't the law come to pay us a visit." Silas the Viper Blackwood emerged from behind a boulder, flanked by his gang. His smile was as slippery as a greased pig at the county fair, but his eyes were cold and calculating. "Where's the girl, Silas?" Jed growled, his hand hovering near his holster. Silas chuckled. Now, Sheriff. Let's not be hasty. Miss Abigail is safe and sound, for now. But her continued well-being depends on how cooperative you and the good mayor are willing to be." Jed's mind raced. This case was more twisted than a cow's horn in a tornado, and he reckoned that varmint was lying through his teeth. But he couldn't risk Abigail's safety. "What do you want?" Jed asked, his voice low and dangerous. "Why, justice, of course," Silas replied, his words sweeter than honey, but his intentions deadlier than a scorpion's sting. "Mayor Thornton's been lining his pockets with silver from my mines for years. It's time the people of Silver Gulch learned the truth about their beloved leader." For days, Jed worked tirelessly, piecing together the puzzle. The truth was as slippery as a catfish in a muddy river, but slowly, a picture emerged. Mayor Thornton's corruption ran deep, tangled up with Silas's criminal empire in ways that made Jed's head spin. As the sun set on the fifth day, Jed returned to Rattlesnake Ridge, prepared for a final showdown. The canyon was bathed in blood-red light as he faced off against Silas and his gang. "It's over, Silas," Jed called out. "I know everything. Let Abigail go, and maybe we can settle this without bloodshed." Silas opened his mouth to reply, but a new voice cut him off. "I'm afraid I can't let that happen, Sheriff." Abigail Thornton stepped out from behind a rock, a six-shooter in each hand. Her eyes blazed with a fire Jed had never seen before. "Miss Abigail?" Jed stammered, his mind reeling. "What in blazes is going on here?" "I orchestrated this whole thing, Sheriff," Abigail explained, her voice steady. "The kidnapping, the ransom, all of it. It was the only way to expose my father's corruption and Silas's connection to him." Jed's world tilted on its axis. The girl he'd been trying to save was the mastermind. In that heart-stopping moment, with the fate of Silver Gulch hanging by a thread, Jed had to make a choice. Uphold the law he'd sworn to protect, or let Abigail serve her brand of justice. As the last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the ridge, a single gunshot echoed through the canyon, sealing the fate of Silver Gulch forever. If you are enjoying Adventures in the Old West channel, hit the subscribe button for future posts. Oh, by the way, friends are like snowflakes. If you pee on them, they go away.